Now let's see how we can save data to the server. So the steps that we have to follow are exactly like the steps that we have to follow when getting data from the server. First, we have to make an API call. Then, if our promise is resolved, we should dispatch the success action. Otherwise, if the promise is rejected, we should dispatch an error action. Now we can implement these steps explicitly, or we can use our new API middleware. So instead of directly making an API call, we're going to dispatch an API call and let our middleware take care of everything. So here in the bug slice, look at the load bugs action creator. Here we're dispatching an API call action. We should use the same approach in our new action creator. So let's create a new action creator. Export constant, add bug. This function takes a bug object and then calls API call began with this object. Now here we should set a few properties. One of them is URL. We defined this earlier in this file. So take a look. Here's our URL constant. Now, as I told you before, in a real application, you should store these values in a configuration file. So you have a single file where you can see all your API endpoints. They are not spread all over the place in your source code, okay? So back to our new action creator. We set the URL. Then we set the method to post. Because we're creating new data, we set the data property to this bug object. So the bug object is going to be included in the body of our request. Now, we set the success action to bug added the type. So earlier we created this action. Let me show you. Here it is. In this function, we add a new bug object to the store. So if we successfully save the bug to the server, then we should update the store, okay? Now, let's go to index.js, and on the top, we should import our new action, add bug, and then dispatch it over here. As the argument, I'm going to pass an object with this description. We don't need this code anymore. Delete. Now, here in Redux DevTools, you can see we have an API call. Our API call was successful. Let's look at the payload of the action. So this is the bug object that the server sent to us. You can see that the server set the ID property. It also set the resolve property to false. And here's the description that was supplied. Now, following this action, we have another action, bug added. And in the payload, we have the same bug object. So now we need to modify this reducer. And instead of creating this object over here, we want to use what we have in the payload of our action. So delete. We're going to push action.payload. This also means we no longer need to generate IDs on the client. So on the top, we can remove the last ID variable. Save the changes. Now take a look. So after the last action was dispatched, let's look at our state. And here's the new bug object that we added. So we successfully saved this bug to the server and then updated our store.